everyone. Welcome to the Northland Artists Conversation. My name is Mark Kelly. I am your host and the wonderful guide that helps you discover all of the amazing creative talent that we have here in Northland. I forgot to actually do this during the podcast. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a thing now. Please bear with me. So today's guest, I'm going to go to my camera. Today's guest is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy we've been trying to get on for quite a while now, and I make reference to it once or twice in the podcast, is Hamish Oakley Browne from Te Kowhai Print Trust. Now, Hamish was very, very kind, very cool and very gracious, and brought in these 2 envelopes with some very unique and specific prints inside them. I'm not going to open them, but one of them Hamish was very gracious enough to provide for myself, and the other one is for Admin Michelle. So when I see you, hopefully you'll have picked one of these and you'll be happy. I know you'll be happy because you're a huge art supporter, but it's just some really cool stuff in here. So Hamish, thank you very much for bringing these in, man. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to chuck them on the ground. I'm going to put them on the table. This was very cool. As I said, when we first started the podcast, we'd been wanting to get Hamish on from like super early on, almost like day dot, when we were sitting down. Producer Andrew and I were sitting down trying to work out what guests we would like to have. Hamish's name was actually on that list, and it has taken 3.5 years, but he's a busy guy. Life gets in the way, and it was just great to have him on. And to be fair, the podcast actually totally exceeded all of my expectations, which was great. He was just really super open and very honest. A lot of self-deprecating humor in there as well, but honestly, just such a nice guy. So I'm gonna close my yap hole, and we're gonna rip into this. Let's sit down and have a conversation with Hamish Oakley Browne. This is the sort of shit I have to deal with this on a professional.
Hey, but he's the best
on a professional level. Hamish,
you're not going to find another Andrew.
No, I don't want to have to look for another Andrew. I want to keep my one Andrew, and just make sure It's just about tolerating people's shit, really. He tolerates mine, I tolerate his. It's a very symbiotic relationship. I can be very Charles Dickens at times, and he can just be a douche. So anyway, Hamish, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
On the Northland Artists. Yeah, it feels like it's sort of the appropriate time to have like that official introduction. Right?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, to be fair, 3.5 years later.
Oh, is that how long since we had the first conversation?
That's how long I've been trying to get you on. And that goes back to Plunge.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I've got this great idea. I'm thinking of starting up a podcast. Yeah, I'll be on it.
But
3.5 years later, man.
Crickets.
Well, not crickets, but you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
I've tried to have Phobos on here.
Oh, yeah. Mark.
Yeah. Amazing dude. But there's something that always comes up with him at the last minute. And,
he'll make it, though. He's doing the most amazing woodcut at the moment for Printapalooza coming up.
Brilliant.
It's looking good. He's posting some pre stuff.
Mark, sir, I look forward to sitting down with you sometime in the very near future. So it's actually really cool to have you come on. Your reputation does precede you.
Oh.
Producer Andrew has known of you and said, "Bro, we need to get this guy on the podcast." It's like, it's not like I'm fucking not trying. And then Shane and Michelle, Admin Michelle, who kind of took over the all the admin side of things. She is relentless in the best way possible.
Oh no, but she made it easy. She made it easy. The email, here's what you need to do, and what I need is a date and a time, and, then I can show up.
And it was great. And I must apologise because we had you booked for later on this week. So we're shooting this on the Monday. We'd originally had you on the Thursday.
Yep.
I think maybe about 10 days ago. Work had said to me, "Hey, need you to travel out of Whangarei for a couple of days." So I was like, "Okay, I love money.
Yeah.
Please keep me employed." So I did. So that's all sorted. So I do appreciate you kind of having that flexibility for us as well.
Oh, no, it's great. Once I had it programmed into my phone and the phone told me where to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good. Now, I want to say you're very prolific in the creative space. Now, I'm going to use a lot of words, and you're going to sit here and go, shut up, don't be a dick. But you are. Your reputation in whangarei very much precedes who you are in terms of working with people and being a mentor and someone who inspires people to create. And we have had people that have known of you on the podcast. And there's only ever very positive things said about you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah. I can't say the same, unfortunately.
Because you had to wait 3 years. So.
Well, that's it, yeah. But I'm not going to hold on to that grudge. We'll deal with this now, and I might bring it up in 20 minutes' time.
Yeah. There's still room. Eh?
There is.
Because actually I feel acknowledged when people give me shit.
Yeah, good.
You know, the compliments make me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But when people start handing out the shit, I'm like, I'm loved here.
Yeah,
I'm loved.
3 years to come on a fucking podcast is a real dick move.
I had to see that you were going to last the distance. It wasn't like a crash and burn situation.
No, not at all.
What with my reputation preceding me.
Well, but that's the cool thing is when producer Andrew and I were kind of putting all the podcasts together, and we were originally sort of talking about, like, we had a little spreadsheet of kind of like people that we really wanted to get, and you were on that original spreadsheet of guests that we wanted to get. So I think for us this is quite this is sort of fulfilling a 3-year work in progress that we've been working on. So Admin Michelle, nice and early, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Let's go back to the beginning, to the start, to the beginning when it all occurred. So your mum and dad had sex and you were born.
Wow, jury's out on that.
As someone who is as creative as you are now, what was it like growing up? Were you naturally a creative person? Well, we often find that people either come from like really creative households, or like mum and dad were like accountants or doctors or really boring shit like that. My mum was an office admin person, and dad was a registered valuer.
Oh yeah.
No creativity there whatsoever. The only creativity we had in our household is on the weekends where mum would go, Roger, I want you to build an extra garden there. And that would be about it. But they certainly encouraged my creativity. Didn't understand it, but they encouraged it. So what was it like growing up for you as a kid?
Well, you know, my mum, she was a creative person.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
She was a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time together. But so she was into pottery. So
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like I've got a plate and stuff that I decorated, and I've still got pottery that I made when I don't know how old I was, must have been 5 or something like that. I made gifts for the family.
That's cool.
But I don't know, like I don't recall that continued on.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I at some point, I think I was always interested in creativity, but but I didn't have an artistic practice. I didn't have a creative practice.
So the pottery was just kind of something that you did because mum did?
Yeah, probably.
And it wasn't something that you kind of naturally gravitated towards and like, yes, this is my calling.
Well, I mean, by the time I got to school, I always did art.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed art at school, and but I think we were talking earlier about like creative blocks, about your inner critic and stuff. I think I had a high level of shit going on that really sort of got in the way of me, getting right into creativity.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a sideline thing. I was heavily interested in it, but couldn't practice it myself.
And was those were your schooling years when that sort of happened?
Yeah. I mean, I did. I did like school cert, art.
Yes.
Sixth form. I did it right through my school years. But I had friends who were way more into it. I was always kind of like scared off by. It was.
Wow.
I found it difficult to practice. Like if I did half a drawing.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish it because if it was any good, I think I'd fuck it up.
Really?
I couldn't. So I had all these family would buy me sketchbooks and pencils and stuff for Christmas or whatever, but they would be empty, or they'd have one drawing in the front or half a drawing or something like that. So I had these blocks. But I loved art. I was into comics. Comic art. I just drooled over. My favorite day was like Thursday when 2000 AD would land at the newsagent, and I'd be off the school bus
and that you're heading straight to the dairy or wherever it was.
Don't know what happened to my friends at that point. I'd be straight in the newsagent to see what was it, what was in the comic could come out, and I'd be devastated if it didn't arrive. I have to wait another week.
I was like that with I discovered I'm terrible at drawing and pottery and that sort of stuff. My brain doesn't work like that. I can draw one thing and that's it. And I've had an attempt at pottery and I'm not very good at it. It doesn't mean I don't respect the craft, because I think people that can do some amazing things are incredible. And we've had we've had potters from NGTO, MGTO, the gallery out at Mangatoroto.
Oh, yep.
We've had a couple of people from Rayburn House.
Yep.
And the skill is amazing, and I can respect art, even if I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because that person's got an incredibly creative talent that I don't have. But then in saying that, I've also got skills that they may or may not have.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's got some type of creative expression, whether or not it's in front of the camera or behind the camera.
Yeah.
And it's just finding where you sit with that.
Yeah. What works for you? And I'm not sure. I think that the talent word for me is a bit of a misnomer, because I kind of feel like it's more like a practice.
Okay.
It's like soccer practice.
Yeah.
If you've developed a practice or a way you engage with your creativity, and you go every Tuesday to practice, you got a thing. It'll get better.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not perfect, but
practice makes better than sucking.
Yeah. And for me, thinking about it like that definitely freed me up. That whole idea, I was the least talented person in my class at art school.
Was that a fact, or was that something that you felt?
A bit of both, maybe.
Was it? Yeah, because obviously you've early on you talked about roadblocks and stuff like that, and have they been there pretty much like the whole time?
Well, I think so. I had an amazing experience. I was studying psychology at Massey.
Wow.
And we had an elective paper.
Yeah.
And this is not even that many years ago. And I had no arts practice, but I had, still had an interest in the arts, and sort of felt like there was an artist in me somewhere. But he was
quite low on the totem pole.
Yeah. In fact, I would do weird shit like go to the Polytech and get the prospectus, with the applied arts, and I'd look at it and then I'd chuck it in the bin. Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a paper called The Creative Process. As an elective, and I thought I'll be fucking great at that.
Yeah,
I know I like art, and so I'll take this elective and check it, and I'll get a great grade.
And
no, it was terrible. I
really
barely passed, but it was one of the most amazing experiences. Like the paper was just nuts. You studied creatives across genres.
Okay, right.
Like from William Bell and the telephone, and how he had a creative practice that allowed him to think up the idea of the telephone, to Martha Graham, the choreographer, and we studied all these creatives as part of your readings and what they did, and I started to realize stuff about creativity that I didn't understand.
Wow.
As a unread person about it. There's a lot of myths and mysteries about creativity that kind of the course debunked. And then the finish of the course, we had to go to Massey for a week. And it was like this thespian kind of get-together. There was hundreds and hundreds of people there, and they had tutors, and we were doing weird drama exercises, like pretend you're a tree.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, I did those. Yeah,
and I was horrified because I'm not a drama person. I'm not a singer, and I'm not a fucking dancer. And it was like filled with all three of those things, doing weird shit in public.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a great time. The end of the course, they put you into these groups with strangers, and we'd kind of studied group dynamics and the creative process before, and they basically put you in, and they gave you a little room like this.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll see you in 3 days, and you need to have a working play that you're going to present on stage.
In 3 days.
In 3 days.
Sounds like the 48-hour film festival.
Yeah, and it's that fucking pressure cooker.
Yes.
And then like after 48 hours, the tutor came down, show me what you got.
Yeah.
And then shredded it, like.
Wow.
Completely know what you've got is shit.
Yeah.
You need to completely rebuild, and everyone's freaking out because but that's the perfect process. Because your brain shuts down all of a sudden and all those things, and you connect with that deeper archetypal element that we have all running, and then we made this play, and I disassociated on stage, and I don't remember a word I said, but people said I did.
People told me I did a good job. Don't remember.
Yeah. And I have experienced that kind of dissociation most of my life. Any public speaking as a kid at school, I'd be able to look down on myself, and see. So I had that experience, but what I realized was, oh my God, I need some of that intensity in my life.
Yeah.
I felt alive, that creative process, that connecting with people, that bumping heads about getting to the end of this thing,
clash of ideas
someone want to dominate, there's amazing dynamic that just and I just thought I got to have more of this in my life. My life is flatlining, and so I went straight up to the Polytech. I got that application, and I went along, and the next cool thing happened was I met Lindsay Marks.
Okay.
And he was the graphics tutor at the Polytech, and he interviewed me.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those moments in your life where you meet someone that you think, I could stand being that person.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's a nice guy. I could probably do that.
Yeah. In fact, a super cool guy. What else does he do? And then you find out, and you realize that there's depths and dimensions to an individual who's involved in the arts that you wouldn't realize. And he gave me one of my best pieces of advice, which is, it's not the riches that arts will bring into your life, Hamish, but the richness.
Oh, that's good. And it's been a while since we've had a really good quote on here, Producer Andrew. Yeah.
And I didn't understand it, but now I do, because the depth of my life, the richness that my life has been involved with, like you guys, and all the creative elements, the events that we've got in town and the exhibitions. Suddenly my life, went into 5D.
Yeah.
And depth. And so I had that amazing, but I needed to do a process in order to become that person, which involved me coming to face with those blocks.
Yeah, and I imagine that 3-day process would have challenged everything that you knew, because it's like, oh, hey, we're going to do this thing now, 3 days, don't suck, off you go.
Yeah.
And then...
hate my voice, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Can't talk in public, all those things, you're suddenly like fucking smashed and you're getting beat down by it.
And you don't have a choice either. You have to address it.
Yeah. I mean, some people walked off and they're like,
did they really?
I can't do this,
Wow.
But for the people that stayed round, it's like that camaraderie that's generated in the pressure cooker of an arts process, can last a lifetime.
Yes, it can.
It
can. Do you still keep in touch with those people?
No, not from that. I did with one of the guys for a long time, but no.
Not recently.
Yeah. No. It didn't. That event didn't end up being that. But I have now created other events now here inside of Whangarei, which I know that those friendships are they might say different. The way I feel. The way I feel about some of the people that I've been in the arts is like, man, they've changed my life.
Yeah.
And I feel really privileged because we've got this group of people in our community who are, hardworking.
Yeah.
And they want to do cool stuff.
Yeah. Relating it to what we do here on the podcast, there is a huge amount of guests that we've had on. I always sit here and I say, I'll try and learn something from someone, and that's not hyperbole or anything like that. I will always learn something from someone, but there have been some guests that we've had that you can sit there and you can go, well, I can see you in the street and you're now a friend. Yeah. Not just you and I sitting here talking. You're an actual friend, someone who I consider as a friend.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly powerful and very deep and very personal as well. Those you can't put a price on that. That is the richness, not riches side of things.
And you can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on community and connectedness and belonging.
Yeah.
And those things are what we need as humans, And I've certainly found that in the arts community.
Yeah.
And my arts practice. Because my arts practice has brought in, another level of challenge to me to be able to show things publicly.
Which would be tough for someone that is their own worst critic and has imposter syndrome.
Yeah. The first exhibition I went to of my work that was in Auckland, where I got selected for something.
Yeah.
And so invited to present, the curator had stuck, and I'd made these big posters, had stuck them right the fucking in the front when you walked in the door, front and centre. And I was so ashamed I could not even look at my work.
Really?
I walked through the door, I saw it right there, and I was like, fuck no.
Really? What was it?
Shame.
For what?
Being seen.
Yeah. That's tough, man.
No. Well, I don't know it's tough, but I think, we all have those levels of how far we're willing to be seen.
Yeah, okay. Agreed.
And coming up to challenge those elements of ourselves so that we can grow personally, is kind of tough, but it's essential, because it's a beautiful growth that you're going to receive, but, otherwise you're going to hide under
I've always, having sat here with a lot of people, I sort of define an artist as someone that has a creative expression that they put to the public.
Yeah.
Because you could sit at home and be the most amazing drawer or painter or potter. You could be the most phenomenal singer or guitar player. You might be able to act like a fucking champion. But until you can put that into the public sphere, it's limited to one person and maybe a couple of family members.
Yeah. But it's terrifying.
It is.
To be seen by others.
Yeah.
And it's just the same as if you hear, like if I hear my voice on someone's filmed me or on a podcast, I'm like, fuck, I hate that.
Okay, so needless to say, you're not going to be listening to your own one?
No, but my friend Clark is like, you just have to listen to that shit until it's meaningless to you.
Yeah.
You got to listen to it over and over and over and again, And
yeah, and I guess after a while, it has to become just noise. Charlie Brown and Snoopy, like in the when Charlie's at school. Yeah, hello, Mrs. Like there's no fucking words, it's just sounds.
Yeah.
And you almost need it to get to that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you need to come to terms with yourself, and that's a big coming to, as you as you have a realization about who you are and what you are, and then you got to fall in love with that thing that you find repulsive or ugly or however it is you see yourself. But I tell you, we don't talk to ourselves very nicely most of the time. We're not our own friends. That's become very obvious to me from meeting thousands of people, and talking through issues with them, that we're not that kind to ourselves.
The Northland Artists Conversation is proud to support Te Kowhai Print Trust. Te Kowhai Print Trust are an amazing organisation that are located on Selwyn Ave in Whangarei. Te Kowhai Print Trust do such amazing things as being a workshop and educational facility in fine art printmaking, as well as keeping a nationally significant historical archive of fine art prints. These guys are absolutely amazing. I had a chance to meet up with them last year, and the work they do is so incredibly cool. It's just amazing the types of things you can do, from like screen printing to lithography. Absolutely unreal, and it's so much fun as well. So Northland Artists Conversation are incredibly proud to support Te Kowhai Print Trust. Now, because obviously you're a lot older and you're a lot wiser, and you kind of understand. I hit 50 this year, and then I realised the amount of fucks I had to give had just drastically shrunk down. Yeah. When you're younger, you worry about so much, and there's so many things you're worried about. The first time I gave less of shits was the day my son was born, because I was like, I remember I had 2 weeks off work, and then I went to work just to get back into my shifts, and all of the because I was managing JB Hi-Fi's in Auckland.
Oh yeah.
And managing salespeople, it's just huge, big, douchey egos, and I just remember saying, I think I'd been there for maybe a couple of days, and two of the guys were having a fight over whose sale a TV was, and I just, because they get paid commission. I just remember walking up to them going, guys, I don't give a shit. Either you sort it out, or I'm just having the sale for myself. And you get no money. I don't fucking care. But I just, that was the first time that I stopped giving as many.
Like a paradigm shift in your whole life.
And it was. And then when I hit 40, and that changed a little bit as well. And then 50, it sort of seemed to have done the most. And producer Andrew will attest to that mine, no fucks to give attitude. But it's not meant in a, I just don't care about people. It's like, I don't want to sweat the really minute stuff.
Yeah.
I like being, like yourself, a high-level guy. I want to look at the big picture, and how do I get us to where we need to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus, I don't want to be a specialist. I'm a generalist.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. And you have to offset that with people that are specialists. They help bring the vision to life, and you show them the vision, and you guide them, and they're either on board or they're not. Most if it's a really cool vision, most people will be on board with you. What was life like once you left school? Because you did school C, sixth form. You touched on going to art school as well.
Well, I didn't go to art school actually until fairly recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't study psychology, and so we're talking 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I'm guessing maybe 10 years ago I was at North Tech
as a tutor.
No,
as a student.
As a student.
Yeah. Wow.
Same time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we were there at the same time.
Wow. So what happened in those in between years then?
Well, I have no recollection about what really occurred, but life.
Yeah, I worked and did some shit, and things happened, and paid taxes.
Yeah, and I like to think of it like a second awakening. When I moved up here and I did that course, I had this opportunity to completely rejig my life, And
it's incredible.
And like I said, I felt like it was kind of beige. My life was a little boring.
Yeah, yeah.
And and now I can reflect on it and say, well, it was in comparison.
Yeah.
And I got North Tech to thank for that. Just this I can't believe they closed it. Really, the most wonderful small little art department with these fucking cool tutors.
Yeah.
Murray Gibbs and Faith McManus and Ellie Smith and high talented, clever tutors. You got tons of tutor time.
Yeah.
That you never would have got at another place.
No.
And a really amazing workshop, sculpture studio, print studio, it's all there, and that opportunity it just changed my life. It utterly converted my life.
Was it so having done art through school and stuff like that, and although never really wanting to kind of take it to that next level, was it the right opportunity at the right time? Do you think maybe in your point in your life at that moment you were open and receptive to do non-beige shit?
Yeah, I think so, because I had okay, and here's an example. I thought I wanted to be a manager. I thought this was the thing that I wanted to manage people, and really I had no idea about myself, and the reality of getting that job that I thought was my all was horrifying. Was fucking so shit. Was like I couldn't believe how unsuited I was to a role that I thought was the role for me.
That's you're going, this is the pinnacle, the be all and end all.
Yeah,
I want to be here,
and I worked really hard for it, and I got promoted, and I got promoted, and I got promoted, and I got the job, and then I just fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I just hated it. I couldn't, I was in an office, no window. There's just some basic elements that I require, and one of them, I require a window.
Sunlight.
I require a window, and then
that opens and closes, or just a window?
And my ability to sit at a computer,
Right, yeah.
I way overestimated the amount of time, and some people have that skill where they can focus for much longer periods of time than I can. I've got a really small window when I can do this stuff. Administration windows is pretty small for me.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of stuff I didn't know about myself that I had to come to the hard learning about, what kind of person I am and what kind of environment I can function in. And it's just sheer luck that I wound up where I was in a place that more suits my nature. Sheer luck.
Okay, luck, or would it be serendipity?
Well, yeah, okay. So I'm sitting on the woo-woo scale. I sit quite way out here. So,
right, yeah.
So, I believe that the universe had a better idea about me and what I needed than I had. Yeah. I had a shitty idea about what I thought I needed.
Yeah, it's almost like the universe was watching you and going, "This isn't you."
Yeah. We'll let you do it.
Well, yeah, we're gonna. You can fucking have at it. Go for gold, and then we're just gonna throw this at you.
Yeah.
Because this is what we think you should be doing.
Because I wound up in like the last place that I ever thought I'd wind up. In fact,
Whangarei?
No. No. I'm hesitant to say it because people will see. But the Quarry Arts Centre.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Well, no, I had an opinion about it.
Really?
Yeah, I had an opinion about it.
I thought Quarry Arts had quite a good reputation.
Well, I'm not talking about its reputation. I'm just
your own personal
my opinion about it.
Okay.
I had some preconceived notions, about it.
Yeah.
And it aligned with some of the overall reputation that it had in the community.
Okay.
However, like I said, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm the first to admit that now I got to say, what I've got from that place in the same way that I got from North Tech was this really amazing adventure and that place rocks.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a very cool place.
Yeah, and very interesting and rare. Like there's not many places like it in the country.
No, I remember when I very first went there, and one of our former podcast guests, Michael Boter, he was doing a reading of one of his poetry books there, and I was like, well, what's this cool place? You know, because when I moved to Whangarei, I didn't really go out.
People don't even know about it.
No, it's hidden, and I don't know why. It's like you, as soon as you drive up that driveway, you can almost feel the flood of creativity just wash over you. That's how it felt for me, because like I there were people just sort of wandering around, and some would talk, like there was like homemade pizza, and then there was people talking about pottery and painting and acrylics and all that sort of stuff. And as you come up the drive, you've got the parking that's on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side you've got the little shop where you can buy prints and bits of art, and you've got that little room which they use as the exhibition room.
Yep.
Mike had been doing his reading in there, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then subsequently having gone back there a few times to see like different exhibitions and even interactive exhibitions, which I thought was cool as well. It was just so eye-opening that such a space was in Whangarei. And I was just like, well, I can walk 200 metres down the road for Burger King afterwards. But it's just that far away. You've got State Highway 1.
It's right in the centre.
You just cut across the road, man, and it's there, and it's amazing, and it's so cool. It's just a wonderfully creative environment.
And I think it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I think there's now like a movement in the arts world where places like this are necessary.
Yeah.
Where maybe I don't know, things are getting a bit cut and dry out there and a bit square box.
Yeah.
And
I'd agree with that.
You need places that are a little bit left field.
Yeah, colour outside the lines.
Yeah. To keep feeding into that, that creative hot box that that we want, and stop things from drying out.
Yeah, and welcoming people from because it's not just one discipline.
No. You've got all sorts going on.
Yeah.
There. Yeah, all sorts. And that's one of its strengths. Yeah, it's not how I viewed it at the beginning, and it just kind of grew on me slowly and until I could see, what was going on there. It's amazing. You don't know what outside is. Recently, just today, in fact, 3 years ago, I took an American woman there.
Okay.
She was visiting with my parents, with her husband from the States. They were thinking of immigrating to New Zealand. And
wise choice now.
Yeah, she said, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Is there any arts places, And I took her to the Quarry Arts Centre and to Te Kowhai and showed her a workshop that was going on.
Yeah.
She was just like...
Yeah.
She says, this is what America was like in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And then, so I hadn't seen her for 3 years.
Yeah.
And today she rocked up and she says, oh, we've moved to Whangarei.
No.
I've got Studio 12.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and she's taken one of the studios, and so that outside perspective.
Yeah.
She was willing to move.
Yeah.
To get something like that, which is unavailable elsewhere.
Yeah, and it's arts is kind of one of those things that gets its legs chopped off pretty quickly when money gets tight.
Yeah. And
the bean counters start coming out. Arts gets lopped off pretty fast.
Yeah.
And arts has got a great way of bouncing back. I remember the Monty Python, it's not Life of Brian, Monty Python and the Hole and Grail, the knight that gets his arm cut off. And he goes, 'tis merely a flesh wound. And that's kind of how arts is. Arts gets that flesh wound, but always bounces back, which I find is very cool. Now, you just spoke about Te Kowhai Print Trust.
Yep.
And that's, I guess, how I know you, as you are the driving force behind it. You're the man, you're the duck's nuts, the buck stops with you. He's like, shut up and just say mean things to me.
Yeah, thank you.
But in a lot of cases, that is actually true. You are the face of that creative group of people. How did that all come about?
Well, like I said, that was kind of sheer luck. The print tutor at the Polytech, she's allergic to a certain kind of ink.
Oh, that's a shame.
And so she won't teach techniques that involve that ink.
Really?
But she said to my friend, I had a close friend, Martinez, and she said, both of you need to go up to this place because you can use that ink there. Mm-hmm. And you need to check this ink out, and because it's part of print that I can't show you.
Right. Okay.
So she was genuinely sort of admitting her limitations and could see our overwhelming interest in the medium.
Sure. Yeah.
Get up there and try this stuff out. And my friend Martinez went up there and he said, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what's up here.
Really?
There's this freaking cool thing, a whole print studio. We can use it, however." There's a lady who runs it. She's super cool. And we went up there and I met Jasmine Horton.
Okay.
And she was the manager, and she was so open to new ideas.
Wow.
And she just looked after Martinez and I. She'd let us use it. We'd be there all day, all night, all the next day, all 3 o'clock in the morning. We're still using the studio. And she just supported our enthusiasm around that. And at some point, she wanted to finish.
Okay.
And her and I had been working together by that time. She'd got Martinez and I to run classes there.
Oh, wow.
And we'd pitched the idea of Printerpalooza, which maybe we'll talk about in a minute.
We can talk about that in a minute.
And she was so open to we were highly enthusiastic about printmaking, and we were kind of motivated and inspired by that the outlaw printmaking movement in the States. So there was a bunch of printmakers in America, and they call themselves the outlaw printmakers. Okay, look them up. They changed the face of printmaking in America.
Really?
Yeah. Just by a more popular culture approach, I guess. I don't know how to do it. Anyway.
Colouring outside the box.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box
Thinking
as well.
outside the box, but it wasn't really. It was just acknowledging some more elements of popular culture, rock and roll, the rock album, the album cover,
I'm with you.
The gritty, those gritty elements of sort of comic art. Yeah. So that's what excited me. And its connection with graphics as well, which is anyway. We were up there doing stuff with her, and she was finishing up. And the place had a few problems, and I put up my hand in a board meeting. I was on the board there, and I said, "Look, I'll pick up."
Wow.
And it was super tight financially. There was not a lot of money in the bank. There was lots of problems, and I just took it on. And so I was just there, and it just fell in my lap, really. And
is that the universe coming to you one more time, going, "Hey, buddy"?
Well, I think it definitely gave me a gift there. Yeah. That I would have otherwise. Yeah. Well, it's those things we don't recognize. Yeah. They're right in our face, and they're perfect for us, and we're just like, because we've got these opinions about ourselves. Yeah. Got opinions about our place, and and really they're based on some bullshit that some narrative we've made up, or it's not a reality, and it really needs to be put right in your face before you'll well, for me, I'm stubborn, I'll cut my legs. I will be the knight and be like,
"This is merely a flesh wound. I've lost both my arms. Doesn't mean I still can't kick your ass."
Yeah. So that's me a lot of times in life, And so it really, gave me the opportunity, it presented me with the opportunity to try something out that really no one else wanted,
But look at what you've done with it.
Well, things have changed. I had some some ideas about how we would follow that movement that was in the States.
Yeah.
How we would do some things around that, and
Producer Andrew.
Oh,
yeah, thank you. Sorry,
and
carry on.
I did study what effective organisations had done.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I went and visited a bunch of organisations that I felt were highly successful, that had been in ruin.
Yeah.
That had infrastructure problems, and I went and studied them, and I thought, oh, okay, so some of these things we can do.
Were they specifically creative organisations?
Yes.
Okay, right. So like at a national level?
Yeah.
Where you sort of were like, I'm going to go visit New Plymouth because their rock arts was amazing and now it sucks, and how did they bring it back up to being amazing again?
That's exactly what I did,
okay.
And my dad's a big models guy. You know,
oh, okay.
He's like this human performance technologist, and so he's always looking, and he's like, Hamish, it's models. You find a good model, you follow the model.
Yeah.
You know, you learn from the models that other people are using, what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
You know, so I went and looked, and I found places that had been in big trouble, what they did to change. I found places that were working really well. What was their strategic plan for funding? What was their strategic plan for events? You know,
what's the winning formula?
What were they doing? And I learned a lot. And I just implemented what they said was working.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and you feel free to decline it if you want. Do you think you would have taken that approach if you hadn't have had your beige lifestyle before?
I don't know.
Because that's very much a manager, a business owner mindset.
Okay, and then if we go back to why I thought I'd be a good manager, it's through my father.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
You know, it's through the influence of my father, because that was his role. He was a consultant.
Right. Okay.
And bless him, as a father, we had a different experience. But as a mentor, and a coach.
Yeah, hi, Dad. I'm really relating to some of this at the moment, buddy.
he had an amazing talent, so he drummed into some of that stuff into me. I'll never be rid of it.
Absolutely, my hard work ethic comes from my dad, and you know it's always there, no matter what. Yeah. That's probably one of the biggest things I can thank him for, is just that, you know, the work ethic behind it. You know.
So I did fall into a manager's job.
I know.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
Isn't that crazy though?
It just has windows.
Yeah, and colour.
and
a lot of colour.
And colour. And you know, and I'm probably, you know, I'm not a great manager, but I do have some skills from that skill set that I learned then, you know, around, you know, how to look at what something's working and then implement. It's quite different, I think, from my arts practice.
Yeah. I've done management my whole life, very rarely sort of stepping out of it, just talking with people and leading them. As I've gotten older, I've realised it's less about being the big, loud, douchey voice that a lot of people my age would sort of associate with being a manager, and going, how about we just gather ideas and talk to people and then collate them and then express what the journey is and then guide everyone along the way. That's what a manager should do.
I'm looking for a different management system. I'm looking for that non-hierarchical.
Yeah, like real flat.
I'm looking for a flat system, you know, and I'm not saying I've got it, you know, but I'm trying, you know, for it, you know, and I value that, because I have a opposition to hierarchy, you know.
Right. Okay.
You know, a natural opposition to it. So I like the idea of having this flat system. It comes with a bunch of.
Well, it comes with its own set of problems,
though, right? With its own set of problems, you know.
There is no right answer, though. All of them have got their pros and cons.
Yeah.
And it's just which one fits the person, me versus you.
Yeah.
Which one fits us best.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we're at Te Kowhai, and from a management point of view, we're navigating this really interesting ground. It's difficult, because I'm trying to be non-hierarchical, we're all part-timers.
Yeah.
And then how do you structure a communication network and working together on a single project where you're in on a Monday, you're in on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And to value everyone's boundaries around when you should be working and not. You know? Otherwise, we're just all working on the days we shouldn't be working. You
alluded to it earlier, Printapalooza.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that is Te Kowhai Print Trust's, flagship premiere event that happens not once a year, but not once every 2 years.
Almost once a year.
Some variant of that. What is Printapalooza?
So Printapalooza now, it's our 10th year. So 10 years, we had our first one 2015.
Wow.
And so now we're 10 years on from that, but it's our 7th Printapalooza, like you were saying. We didn't quite get there every year.
Yeah. So okay, so is this the 10-year anniversary or the 7-year anniversary?
No, it's the 10 year.
Okay, right.
What the fuck?
I claimed it. No.
Fucking 10 years. Fucking 7. 10 is what we wanted.
Yeah. It's like Microsoft going Windows 7, 8, and then 10. 9 can just fuck right off.
Stuff like that happen. Yeah. But you're right, it is our flagship event. It was an event that we started in 2015 with my friend Martinez and Jasmine from Te Kowhai Print Trust. She was prepared to get on with the idea that we presented to her. And Martinez and I had tested it out with an exhibition in 2015.
Right.
We'd used a road roller to make some works to see if it would work.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because I've only heard little bits about it, but when I heard road roller, is that like the big steamroller that compresses?
No,
okay. That's what I imagine in my head. That someone's gone, here's a shitload of ink, and we're now going to take this steamroller and we're just going to drive over this bit of wood, and it's going to be like this hugely massive print.
Well, it is,
that would be cool if you could do that.
But the print's around. It's the size of a piece of jib. It's 1.2 by 2.4. Is generally
that's not
it's still a large print.
It's a big piece,
and it's a lot of ink.
Yeah,
and the machine, although it's not it's like a small Jeep. And we don't need a license to run that thing.
No.
And so we can just hire it from Cowleys.
Go Cowleys.
Go Cowleys, giving it to us at a cheap rate.
Yeah. It's better when it's free though, right?
Better when it's free. And so it's something that we could do off the just off our own bat. We saw them doing it in America, and we thought, well, man, we must be able to do it here.
Yeah.
And so the first time, Martinez and I just ponied up the money to hire that road roller out of our pockets, and we had to go, and we convinced ourselves we could do it as a public event. What became obvious at the first public event was it's really interactive, live action art making, and it's a whole nother thing.
Is it like a one day or a weekend event?
Well, the first one, we oversubscribed massively, and so we needed the whole weekend. We just printed. I think we must have done 40 of these enormous prints.
Holy shit!
On the Printapalooza, there's ink.
Drenched in it.
It was outrageous, but we realised that was a little unmanageable, so it's kind of scaled it back by limiting the number of people that we'll print for on any one day, and of course we learned some cool things on that first one. We had an open block at the event; anyone could come and carve.
Really?
Yeah, at the event and carve. So it's a big wood block for those who don't know, and we're printing it. And Anyway, some clever kid had come along, and right in the middle of that wood block, and you got to carve your words backwards, though. You remember?
Yes.
Had C-bombed.
Wow.
The middle of that
Right,
huge,
yeah.
right in the middle, and no one had seen him do it or her. Jury's out. Anyway, had enough time to carve that right in the middle, and we didn't see until we were all ready to print, and someone pointed.
You can't print that.
And I kind of feel sorry for the kid because he was so close to success. He must have been standing in the background like,
Yes!
fuck yeah!
My life's work and achievement. Oh, it's taken away from me.
Yeah, along with the dick. There was. So we don't do the carving the block on the spot.
Did the C-bomb and the dick happen in the first year?
Yeah. It was...
Isn't it funny that some ass clown goes and ruins it for everyone? And what could have been quite cool.
Well, anyway, I thought it was hilarious, but we couldn't. We had to edit it. We printed it, but we had to chisel out the bits.
Right. Okay.
But anyway,
so the U became like an O, and
that started us off because we realised there was a passion. Printmakers sometimes want to make big works, and there's an opportunity to make really big works and also participate in a live event. And people get to drive the road roller.
What?
Yeah, because there's no rules.
That is so cool. Do they sign a health and safety waiver? If in the event of you getting rolled over by your own roller, Te Kowhai Print Trust accept no liability.
I'm going to say yes.
If you're watching the podcast, pay close attention.
Anyway, this is live now. So all health and safety precautions are taken into account, and we're very careful. However, it's kind of an easy machine to do. So with a brief lesson, and some health and safety considerations, you can get up there and roll that thing. So people get up and print their own block, get to drive this this machine, and super fun. And then we hang it up instantly, and it becomes an exhibition straight away.
So the people will have their 1.2 by 2.4. They'll carve out whatever they want on there.
Yep.
They'll then lay it on the ground, slap a ridiculous amount of. Does it get slapped on the wheels or on the print itself?
No, on the print itself. So we've got a team that inks. Team of inkers that just charge and ink onto these big blocks. And then the roller. What's the role of the roller? That presses and we use calico.
Really?
Yeah. So we print onto onto fabric.
Yeah. Very durable, very thick too.
Yeah. It's it just creates solves a number of problems inherent in the process. And so then we have a team of people who have a corner of fabric each, and they drop it down, and then we put a piece of carpet down. Yeah. And then we run that road roller over there best we can.
How many times do you go over it?
Well, if you get it right one time.
Really?
Yeah. But sometimes you're going a bit sideways or whatever. Okay,
right.
You need to come back and catch an edge.
Yeah.
But I've got quite an experienced team, and we'll have a look. Did we get it all? And then no, we didn't get that bit, so we'll drop back down, and I might run over that bit again.
Yeah.
And try and get a good print for everyone.
And the cool thing with that is, after it's been rolled and it's kind of had all contact with the calico, it's a couple of hook eyes in and almost straight up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, we use a piece of bamboo like that.
Really?
Like a tomato steak.
Yeah.
We just roll the fabric over, tape it,
and she's up.
Yeah, it can go straight up.
Far out.
So it's this cool kind of fully action, and then we've got some live printing there, so you can come along and get a patch printed.
Yeah.
We got some market tables, so people selling woodcut T-shirts and other merch.
Yeah.
Hand printed merch. Beagle Radio's going to be there with a DJ, so we've got music.
That's cool.
And some other interactive elements.
Yeah. What time of year does this sort of...
Well, so we're down at the Hihiawa Cultural Centre.
Yep, beautiful place.
On the 25th of October, Saturday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I actually think it's a Labour weekend. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
I just picked a date. in my defence at the end of October, and it turns out that it is Labour weekend. But we got Roman pizza makers from Auckland coming up.
Outstanding.
We got so we got music, and we got some interactive things you can get into, get some prints done yourself, and all the artists will be there from all over the country.
Wow.
From far away, right down the bottom of Timbuktu, South Island there.
Invercargill?
Invercargill, I think we got an artist coming from. And should be cool. You get to see some cool art, eat some food, a classic event.
It's really kind of what Whangarei art event, or Northland art events have become. Very much something for everyone, and it's almost like a day thing.
It's like a day thing. It's closer to I'm thinking of like the name for like a Rainbow Zen kind of place.
It's a theme park.
It's more like a theme park.
Yeah,
which is what I really love about that direction of arts.
It's like the AMP show turning up.
Yeah.
There's that one day, with the AMP shows 2 days, there's the rides, the attractions, the food, all of the different events. There's something there for everyone.
You run off with your candy floss, you got a T-shirt in your hand, and it's way more rock and roll.
Yes, very much so.
It's festival. That's the word.
Festival.
That's the word I was looking for.
There we go.
It's way more like a festival.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of the things that makes it so incredibly unique as well.
Yeah. No, it's totally unique. There's no one else who's doing it.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Hamish, thank you so much for joining us on the Northland Artists Conversation, man.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a long time in the making, but I have to say it's a lot cooler than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah. Now, that's one of those interesting ones for Hamish, because that's a backhanded compliment. Yeah, I use the pimp hand. No, but hey, in all sincerity, okay, how can I be sincere after that? Thank you so much for actually finding some time to come in and sit down with us, dude. This has actually been fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
There you go, everyone. Hamish Oakley Browne. Hamish, thank you so much for just carving out a bit of time for us. Really appreciate it, dude. It was super cool. I always run into Hamish at like certain events and stuff like that, whether it be Sandbox or Art Beat or just some of the cool art things that are sort of happening around town that he happens to be at. Great guy. Super cool. So in the studio with me today is producer Andrew. Producer Andrew, how you going? Yeah, he's throwing the thumbs up. Why is producer Andrew throwing the thumbs up and not contributing like he normally does? It's because he was a bad boy and I took his microphone away from him. He has been saying some very controversial things. It's very controversial. It's all politics related. No, it's not. To be fair, we were out filming Aotearoa Wrestling, not last weekend, but the weekend before. And when we do, we take a lot of gear from the podcast studio and we take it out, and the cable for producer Andrew's mic is in the inside, and but it's okay. Silence is golden, and sometimes silence speaks volumes. Producer Andrew, what were your... No, I'm not going to ask that question. That's a dick move. Thumbs up from producer Andrew. The question I was going to ask is, what do you think about the podcast? Producer Andrew and Hamish have actually known each other for quite a number of years and stuff like that. So it was actually very cool for them to kind of, when Hamish came back into the studio and he recognised Andrew, it was very cool, and it just had like such a really nice vibe, and I think that really set the tone for the podcast as well. It was just super cool, super chill. Hopefully, as you've found out and thoroughly enjoyed yourselves. So where can you, our listeners and viewers, find us? I'm going to rattle off all the details because that's what I do. For the visuals, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all Northland Artists Conversation, somewhere around about my midsection. For the audio, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Podcasts. Again, all Northland Artists Conversation. And if you want to make it super easy for yourself, just open up the interwebs page, whether it be like Chrome or Edge or whatever else that you may choose to use, and just type in Northland Artists Conversation, just the 3 words, and I pretty much guarantee you that whole first page is all us, not me, but just us as a group. Just pick something from there. We're well over 100 episodes now, probably closer to 120 if we're fair. And it's just been such an absolute blast, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing what 2026 can offer. We've got some cool things in mind that we're thinking of, but we're just going to let them simmer and marinate for a bit, because there is, we've been thoroughly enjoying what we do since day dot, but we reckon we might be able to do a little bit better. So if you want to be on the podcast, or if you want to reach out to us, if you want to comment on anything as well, just flick us something through our socials. Someone will reach out to you, and we've had a lot of people recently just message us saying, hey, I'd love to be on the podcast. Very cool. We really appreciate it. But if you want to reach out, it's either through our socials or email hello@northlandartistsconversation.co.nz, and one of us is going to get back to you. It's more than likely going to be admin Michelle. She is amazing at what she does, and she does some incredible bookings and has gotten some amazing people on board this year. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I'm going to flick back to my wide camera now. Producer Andrew, anything interesting for the upcoming week? He's got thumbs up. It's probably the better of the sign language choices he could have given me. The rugby's on. At the time of recording this podcast, it's Monday the 22nd, and the Northland Taniwha's go into a match that's here against Canterbury. Unfortunately, I am a huge Canterbury supporter. However, this time around, I'll be shooting for the Tunnies because they are the home team and they are the best, and they do rep, and they've had a bloody good season, to be fair. And I think they deserve the win on this one. And if they get the win, then they move into some really cool fields. So go the Tunnies. Woohoo! Hope you guys, actually, I really do hope you guys do well. That'd be fucking cool. Anyway, on behalf of myself, Mark Kelly, producer Andrew, editor Lee, engineer Steve, and the wonderful admin Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on the Northland Artists Conversation. We will see you guys real soon.